Welcome to this live Q&A with Destination Morocco. In this live Q&A, we're going to be covering a lot of the questions that we have received from the listeners, the viewers, the travelers to Morocco, and it's going to be me, Sam, and Ted in the panel, and Ted is going to be basically the moderator for this Q&A. Ted, welcome everybody. Um, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thanks. Good to see you guys, especially
Likewise.
Sam, who is joining us live from Marrakech. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah, glad you're okay. At least you and your family are okay.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very good. Alhamdulillah. Yeah. Thanks God.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is fine. Everybody is live. Yeah.
Yeah. And you are in the company office right now. How's the office?
That's right. The office is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my house is not, but my office is good.
Mhm.
Very good. Excellent.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we've got some questions, and I'm sure we'll come up with some things in the meantime. We have a few audience members for sure. So if you are watching us live, the way to participate, I guess there's a couple ways. You should see a chat button, and you can send us a chat message. It'll pop up here, and then I can read your question. The second thing, which is a little more fun, but it's up to you if you want to do this, is that you can request to come on to the show, and that includes video. So if you do that, there's another button that says request to join live session, something close to that. You can put in your name. You can even write your question in or what you want to talk about, so we kind of have a sense of what the topic is, right? And then me as in the kind of producer role here, I would let you in, and then yeah, you can come on the show. So that's of course only if people want to. You certainly don't have to. You can definitely leave questions in the chat. We've been using Riverside here for quite a while, a year and a half, but we've never actually done this live thing. So we're kind of new to this, but it's fun. It seems to be quite user friendly. So either way, we'll see how that goes. And of course, we are recording this, so anybody watching this afterwards can skim through and find all the questions, and we'll have it up on the YouTube channel pretty soon. So we're gonna go for about an hour here, 60 minutes, and yeah, really, it's another thing too is the fact that we've been planning this for the past month or so, which initially was to just talk about general ideas, how to go about planning a trip to Morocco, and any details about that. And now, of course, we're changing our focus. So we all want to know what's happening on the ground in Morocco, especially Marrakech, the last few days. So anyone in particular who has a trip planned, who's definitely going, who's got their tickets booked, who's close to doing so, who's very serious about it and has dates in mind, probably in the next maybe 3 or 4 months. But even in general, if you're really planning on going, you're certainly going to have questions. Well, can I still go? What's it like? What's the state of tourism now? So we're going to talk about that. And then, of course, there's people who, maybe be going in the future, maybe have already gone, not have any plans yet, but they want to know how we can help, how we can contribute from a distance. There's people joining and watching this from all around North America and Europe and probably Australia and other places. So, yeah, anyone from around the world who wants to contribute, we'll chat a bit about that. So, I guess the first question then, maybe for Asdeen and Sam too, especially really, how safe is Morocco right now, especially where you are?
I'll let Sam answer that first, please.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Tay. Thank you very much, Asdin. Morocco right now is safe. Honestly, it's very safe, especially Marrakech. Unfortunately, the outskirts of Marrakech, the village is very, very damaged. Especially, there is so many village which is destroyed. Marrakech, some parts of it affected by the earthquake. So, especially the old Medina inside the old Medina, but most of the places, especially tourist attractions, are still good. The other parts of Morocco is, for example, Essaouira, for example, Casablanca, Rabat, Tangier, Fez, Meknes, Agadir, Volubilis, for example, Merzouga. Those areas are very good, so it does not affect it. They feel just a little bit movement, but it's not a big deal. So there is no houses fall or something like that. There is nothing. So Marrakesh is good. So we still have tourists here in Marrakesh. Yeah, you can see even on the square, on the monuments like Majority Gardens, like for example the Madrasa bin Yusuf, like the museums, for example, they still working in the Medina. There is some parts of it, especially, for example, the Millah, the old Jewish quarter, is damaged inside the Medina, for example. But most of the
Sam,
parts is not.
Sam, please forgive me. You're answering too many questions in one question.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Okay.
right. My next question here was, are tourists still going to Marrakech in particular? So it certainly sounds like they are. And just for context, I should say we're talking here, this is Wednesday, September 13th. So we're what, good 5 days after the earthquake. So you're still seeing tourists in Marrakech?
Yes, there is so many tourists in Marrakesh. Yeah, most of the people, they didn't cancel their trips, so they still here in Marrakesh. They
Yeah.
still touring. They still going to the attractions. They still staying in their accommodations, which is good. Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking then, I would get a sense, I think, of the answer, but will my trip continue as planned or should I postpone?
Well, I'll answer that. Your trip should continue as planned and not postponed. So this is one of the other ways that people can help. If you have planned your trip to Morocco and it's booked, just go to Morocco because um, your money will go a long way. So you will stimulate the economy. You will help a lot of people just by going to Morocco. And also you'll see firsthand how things are, the areas that are affected um, and the areas that are not affected. So I would definitely say don't cancel, just go. And luckily for us, we haven't had any cancellations. There's a lot of concerns with people that are traveling with us, with in constant communication with them, and everything is good. We did not have to make any changes to any itinerary so far. So I'll definitely say keep your reservation and travel to Morocco for sure.
Good. Well, what happens if I have a tour booked and especially in going to Marrakesh and my riad or hotel has closed, if they have damage, what do you guys do? Are you able to find other accommodation?
Yeah, Sam, go ahead because I think we had yeah.
Yes. Most of the riads still working. So in big parts, few of them only affected by the earthquake, but most of them still working. We have our clients in the riads. There is hotels in the new part of Marrakesh which is not affected. So everything's still good in Marrakesh,
Mm-hmm.
honestly. Yeah. So people still keeping their accommodations as it is in the riads. There is some, as I said, few of them, not all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Especially we are talking in the old Medina where there is many riads. Outside the Medina, for example, in Gilis, in Evernage, everything is good. Everything is fine. Now all the hotels are still operating.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we had a case which one of the riads was damaged. So all we had to do is basically just switch the riad and that took care of it. So
Yeah,
it's really
that's
simple. If
right.
that's the case,
Yeah.
uh, it happens to any of the reservations we have, we can always change accommodations. But so far, so good for us. Yeah.
So there haven't been issues yet in terms of just availability and finding other places that are open where you can move people to.
No, there's no issues in terms of availability. I know
No.
for us, especially September is our busiest month, but we haven't had any challenges doing so. Then we have um, uh, other trips that are planned in October. And by the way, in Marrakech is hosting one of the biggest events of the year in first week of October, and it's super busy. And the city have been prepared for it in terms of construction, in terms of everything, logistics. But unfortunately, with the earthquake, it's gonna affect it. But the conference is still good. There's no cancellations, and it's going to be amazing for the city as well. So it's really perfect timing for the city. It's going to help tremendously.
What's the event?
I forgot the name of it, but I know Sam probably knows.
World Bank meeting, annual
Okay.
meeting. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a huge vote of confidence then if they're
Yeah,
still planning
It's very
to carry
huge.
on, of course, and still do it in Marrakesh. That's great.
Yeah, thousands and thousands of participants, by the way.
yes.
Wow. Okay. Now, what if my itinerary includes traveling to Merzouga or quite likely Merzouga back to Marrakesh? What are the roads like and the transportation? Is it possible to get through?
That's a really good question. The roads are not really affected for the most part. So if anything happens, I'm sure the road will be cleared, and they are cleared by now. But I haven't heard any of those hazards. So we just had some travelers going to Merzouga. There's no issues on the road at all. So yeah,
And they reached out to all the guys. I can see to all the cities in Morocco. All the roads are opened because the part that is affected is the other side of Marrakesh. So the other side, it's not the places where the itineraries is. So
yeah,
everything, even the road
Yeah.
Fimlil is accessible right now.
yeah.
Yeah, they moved all the stones and all
The rocks.
the rocks from the road, which is good.
Okay. So then the buses, the trucks, and so on can get through.
Yes, yeah,
Yes.
That's good.
definitely.
Well, I mean, at this point, especially if it's in the next 3 weeks or something, what would you recommend to clients, to your guests, and anyone traveling? Should they maybe try to change their itinerary to spend more time in a place like Fez or perhaps in the north instead of going to the south, or at least to Marrakesh, if there's a lot of reconstruction and just cleanup and stuff to do, at least in the real short term? What do you guys recommend?
What I recommend, that's a good option if they want to do that. They don't have to. Marrakesh is hit, but it's not all of Marrakesh. Like Sam said, there are three attractions that are closed. Everything else is open. And when people travel to Marrakesh or the itineraries that we build, Marrakesh sometimes have, you know, 2 days, sometimes 3 days, and sometimes 4 days for travelers, and even 4 days. The attractions that are open, it's still probably not enough to go through all of them. So what I'm saying is, don't Marrakesh is still good. It's still an amazing destination, a place to visit. There's so much to see and do, even with the earthquake. And like Sam
Yes.
said, it's the part of it is the old downtown, the Medina, which keep in consideration those houses are 100 years old, 200, 300 years old. So it is obvious, that they got hit the most, and unfortunately, those houses are now gone. But most of Marrakesh sustained a little bit of damage, but everywhere else is still just fine. The most severe hit areas are the villages in the outskirts of Marrakesh, all the
Mm-hmm.
way to Taroudant, which is a different city on the south. So, but again, like Sam said, it's on the other side. It's on the west side of what we normally go. We normally go up north, then we go through the desert and back to Marrakesh and stuff like that. But it's on the west side. So the west side is more affected with earthquake than the east side. And most of the itineraries they contain the east side, especially the south and then the north, which is unaffected. Unaffected in a way that everybody, a lot of cities felt the earthquake, but the damage varies from city to city. So they
Yeah.
felt it in Fast, they felt it in Sawara, like Sam said, in Rabat, in Casablanca, but generally everything else is just fine.
Mm-hmm.
So if your itinerary does not change, just keep it as it is. You want to make changes to it, you're 100% in control, definitely.
Yeah, just to add to what Asdin said, is that when you say, for example, as 3 days, 4 days in Marrakesh, there's still many things to do. For example, Agafay is just 40 minutes, 45 minutes from Marrakesh. There is Essaouira, for example, for a day trip. You can still like a day trip, for example, to the Ozod waterfalls, for example, which is not affected. So there is many other places. You can stay
Okay.
in Marrakesh for more than 3 or 4 or 5 days, and there is so many things to do.
Yeah.
That's good. Sam, you touched on this a bit earlier, but can you just clarify, instead of maybe what's open, most things sound open, but maybe what's closed? What's actually closed right now in Marrakesh that people can't necessarily visit right away?
Marrakesh, the monuments, the historical monument that is closed is Bahia Palace,
Hmm.
Badia Palace, and the Sadian Tombs. The Qutubiyya Mosque, they just make by the way, the Qutubiyya Mosque is not allowed for tourists to visit inside, just
Yeah.
from outside. So they can take picture because the mosque and the minaret is still. So the minaret is a little bit moved. They just make a precaution for people not to go close, so they can still taking pictures. But the other monuments, including the museums, the gardens, they still opened for tourists to visit.
Okay, that's good. A good question. Sam, can you confirm if the cell towers are restored and cell service in general, as far as you know?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Yeah, it's working. All the operators are working, and
Okay.
yeah, in the villages, some part of it. For example, I can say, for example, in Imlil, for example, in Wirgan, and in the place where the earthquake happened, they still have some issues from time to time. Not every day, from time to time there is a. But in Marrakesh, no, everything is working.
Okay. I was wondering too, when we were there in February, we stayed in the Agafy Desert. Have you heard anything from the camps there? Is there any damage or anything that they've had to close down?
Now, as I said before, you can have a day trip to Agafay Desert. It's not affected by the earthquake, so all the camps there are still operating and still working.
Mhm.
Yeah. And they called the guys there to make sure, and they told me that's they still working, all of them.
Okay, good. What about the airport? Maybe that's the last kind of big infrastructure type question, but there's the airport in Marrakech and any issues there?
It's still
No.
working. It's still working, and I received many helps from the other countries, so it's still working. Each hour there is like planes arrived every like half an hour.
Okay.
There is planes arriving, so which is good.
Okay, well, this sounds very encouraging. I mean, I know we see a lot, it's filtered through the media and so on, and that's where we get a lot of the images in the news. And I mean, they're doing their best, I'm sure, to be accurate, but we see the damage. We see when buildings collapse and there's piles of rubble on tops of cars, and it all looks pretty intense, which it is, but it's not necessarily widespread and all over the place and the whole city is shut down. I think we're getting a good sense that things generally are open and trying their best to get back to normal as quickly as possible. I was reading something yesterday that they've already been cleaning up a lot of the streets for sure, and you can walk through much of the Medina. Just the bricks and the rubble is starting to get cleared away, so that's a good start already.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
Yes, they already cleaned most of the. We talk about ramparts, the big walls of Marrakesh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
All the
yeah,
parts that is fall, they all already cleaned everything.
yeah.
yeah.
Everything is
The
cleaned
gate
right
of
now. The
the gate
gates,
of the
yes,
city. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm. Well, let's touch a bit then on what people can do to help, to try to contribute and do something. And really, this may be whether you're going there yourself, if you have a trip planned and you have the chance to be there, let's say in the next few weeks, or probably for most of us who are from far away and we may not necessarily be going soon, but we want to do something. How can we contribute? So let's say if you are actually there, is it safe to volunteer for aid work while you're in Marrakesh? Do you know if there's will they let people come in and help? Or is it kind of restricted to people that are, let's say, qualified or allowed to go in and help in certain areas?
Okay, I'll answer that.
Sure.
Anybody can go and help, and this is what we're seeing in Marrakesh. When we talk about help, there's different types of help. There's the government help, and then there's the people's help, which is regular people like me, like Sam, like just regular folk, basically,
Yeah.
organizing everything, taking care of everything from A to Z. You can help in so many different ways when you're in Morocco. Um, so definitely, there's a lot of opportunities to help when you get to Morocco. When you're not in Morocco and you want to help, you can do that as well in many different ways. One of them, in a lot of the major cities in the U.S., they have donations for Morocco. They have entities that you can donate to. They have drive for Morocco where you can drop off clothes, non-perishable food, all kind of things, and that will be shipped to Morocco at some point. It will help the communities. Or you can donate to somebody, be involved with someone. And in this case, we're doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people have been asking questions, and I'm going to let that, when the question is asked, then I'll answer it accordingly as well.
Mm.
This is what I see from here, but Sam can elaborate a little bit since he's in Morocco, in Marrakesh, at the center of it all. So he can definitely advise how people can help as well.
Sure, sure. For the people they want to help, if you are in Morocco already, just there is so many associations here. You can even buy things, buy some stuff, anything you can help with. For example, give them money. But I prefer you to go with them to give the stuff, the goods you buy, to the right persons, to the families, exactly as we did, as we are still doing right now. We go to the village and we ask for families. We meet people in need, and they will give them what they need, especially because yeah, all thanks God, all the Moroccans right now are gathering together, and they have helping each other in a very amazing way. So if you want to help, as Dean said, if you are in Morocco, you are welcome. I received many calls today for the people they want to help, and we'll organize like a day tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We'll go with them to the villages. We'll go directly to the families uh, in the place where the earthquake happened, and we will give the helps directly to the right people
Mm.
they deserve, they need, not to everyone. For example, maybe there is, as Dean said, mentioned in the beginning of this live, there is like people, for example, they still have their houses, they are not touched by affected by the earthquake. So priority for the people they don't have houses. For example, some they lost, for example, some members of the family or something, and they don't have where to stay, they don't have where to eat. All those people, they are need, and we will go to help them for sure.
Hmm. That's a good point. What do people need right now in the next few days, especially now that we're a few days after this? So what do people really need right away?
They still need anything, but they still need in priority, they need clothes, they need blankets, they need like tents, because they have tents, but many families stay in one tent.
Hmm.
So if people can, for example, bring tents, for example, they could, for example, separate families. Each family have its own tent with their kids. As I said, blankets, clothes, like they have for it. I think they have enough for now. Maybe for
Hmm.
the next few days they will need as well. But as I said, all they need is this. For example, like soap, like
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
everything.
Really anything that you can think of,
Yeah, yeah,
non-perishable food. When we say the people, and just to elaborate what Sam said, we cannot forget the animals, the
Hmm.
livestock, especially in the
Yeah.
mountains. Yes, it's part of the family. They are family members as well. And they are also hurt. They are, they lost where they sleep as well, where they are comfortable. And I mean, we need help with everything that you can think of, from diapers for babies, from
Hmm.
socks, from shoes, uh, perishable food. We have a shortage right now in blankets. The people that we're involved with, we bought 800 blankets. There's a shortage of
yes,
blankets.
yeah,
Unfortunately, this is one of the disasters that nobody is ready for or prepared for.
Yeah.
So, and I've seen the help from all over Morocco. Go into specific areas, go into villages, go into Marrakech. So anything you can help with when you're in Morocco, it's very helpful. Here, I have received calls and I have received messages. Hey, I'm going next week. I'm going in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Can I bring something with me? What Moroccan people like? Moroccan people like everything. They really do. But unfortunately,
yes,
it's just gonna cause you issues when you take it with you. The best way is donate, or when you get to Morocco, you want to donate there, you can do that as well and see where exactly the donation goes to, just like Sam said.
I
yeah.
was wondering about that then. If I had a trip coming up, especially in the next couple of weeks or something, is it possible? Is it recommended to bring some kind of supplies, maybe a couple extra blankets, maybe even some over-the-counter medicine? Is that possible? Is it a good idea? Will I have trouble with customs? Who do I know how to give it to? What do you guys recommend?
Here's the thing. We don't want to cause you any trouble, any
Mm.
problems. Everything that you have mentioned, you can get in Morocco. So if if you go into Morocco and you want to help, you don't want to donate here in the US, you don't know who to donate to, you don't feel comfortable donating to anyone, just when you get to Morocco, you can go to the pharmacy. And the good news, pharmacies in Morocco are different in the US. You can buy diabetes medication for the people that need it. You can buy blood pressure medication for people that need it. You don't need a doctor's prescription. You can buy so much from the pharmacy, and it will go a long way. So that's the good news about Morocco. The system, I want to explain a lot of things to people here in the West. the US, Canada, Europe, Latin America, New Zealand, Australia. The system in Morocco is a little different than the West. In some ways are good, in some ways not good. But we've seen the movement of people. We've seen how people got together and they help each other. It's a web of network that it's unprecedented. The people, what they are doing, it has never been seen before in any other country. And the people that are hurt right now are the Amazigh, are the Berber people. And when we get an itinerary or request, everybody, the number one request, what do you want to see, what do you want to experience? The Berber culture, then the Jewish culture. So people, I know they feel the pain because that culture is our culture. And we see the movement, and then we see the solidarity, the help, the love and support from everybody. But we have to give credit to the Amazigh people. Nobody can do what they're doing right now. And you'll see it, the help that they're getting, it's not by the thousands, it's by the millions from Moroccans all
All
over
around
the
the
globe.
world. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So if probably if I have to guess, maybe close to a million, well, a billion probably in aid will come from the US, just from Moroccans and other communities, and also us. We stick together. And I talked to Sam about this many times, and I think I mentioned it to you. We are very tight as a community, as Berbers, as Amazigh. We love one another. And the reason why we come together is because of our culture. That's who we are. We are very hospitable. And now we're in pain, we're hurt. But we do what we need to do. We say it, it's one of my weaknesses, and I know Sam is the same, and it's in a lot of us, the Berbers. It's really hard for us to say no. It really is.
Yes.
And this is one of those opportunities that no one will say no. I mean, everybody wants to help, whether they have or they don't, they will help. So,
Yeah.
and we have been extremely fortunate and lucky. We have received calls, emails, text messages from previous clients, from people that are traveling with us right now, and people that are traveling next couple of days, next couple of weeks. Everybody wants to help. And it's something that I have never expected in my life. And it's really, really overwhelming, and we're beyond grateful. So, yeah, the Moroccan people are just, it, it, I don't
Yeah.
even know what else to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
It's a moment. It's a very profound
Yeah,
moment,
it is.
and yeah, seeing everybody come together like this. I think what you're hinting at, in terms of it maybe a little different, is what you've told me over the last couple of days, is that you don't wait for the government or anyone else to get organized and get all their stuff ready together. Like, you just take action and you do it, and that includes the whole expat community, people around
Yes,
the world. Yeah.
This is the most
yes,
important because the
yeah,
people they didn't wait for the
Right.
government to act. They act by themselves. They
yes,
Yeah.
did what it should to do before the government.
yes.
Yeah.
The government eventually will help and is helping and doing everything that they can. But it's, when you go by the book, when you go by, by the steps that you have, the ladder of the system, we can't wait. Every second is precious.
Yes.
Every minute is precious. We cannot wait. When the help comes, it's going to help tremendously. But for now, everybody's moving. Everybody's moving. We cannot stand still.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, let's talk about what you guys have got set up there. I mean, Destination Morocco and your team and your contacts on the ground. So you're raising money for this, and I'm going to share that we have a donation page, but just fill us in a little bit about the action that you're taking right away over the next few days.
okay, I I don't want to talk from this started really in the pandemic. Me and Sam and the people that I'm involved with, they are distant family. We are extensive family. We are family. So in terms of trust, I do trust them with my life. I do trust them with my wallet. So I don't have an issue. I don't get involved with somebody who's gonna scam me or steal from me. It's just no. We have helped as an entity, and we have done it quietly. We don't personally. I don't like to be known. Hey, so and so donated this, or so helped this, or built this, or whatever. That's not us. That's not what we do. We do this because we have to do it.
Yeah.
Success. It's meaningless if it doesn't have a purpose, and our purpose is to help. I mean, I've said it time and again. I will never get tired of saying it.
Yeah.
I'm a servant.
Yeah.
We are servant. This
We
is what
have
we do. This
we
is who
have
we
it's
are.
not yeah, it's not even for the earthquake. We do this
Yes,
for a long time, and we will keep doing it for the future.
exactly.
This
Yes,
is this is our people. This is our villages.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
This way, you're
So
telling me too was that you had something already kind of lined up for this
yes,
fall,
it's
resource
we.
drive,
I don't
but you're
remember.
adjusting now.
Yeah, I don't remember Sam if we had the meeting on Monday or Tuesday, but I
Yeah.
know that the
Yeah.
earthquake hit on
Yeah.
Friday. We
Yeah.
set up 2023. We set up for 2024. We set up for 2025. We have the agenda. We have everything lined up, and so many things we want to do for the village. When I say the village, it's just ground zero. It's the beginning, but then everything we do in one village, copy paste to the next village. So in terms of help, it's endless. It's people need help today, next year, decade from now, generation from now. And this is a good day for us to start. This is a good opportunity for us to start.
Yes.
What the earthquake did is just really accelerated the process for us. So there's plan to have an ambulance in the village, to have transportation set up for them to build
To
to
take the whales.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
well, because
Mm.
water is gold in those
Yeah.
mountains. um, to donate blankets and do, Tliwat caravan as we did it back in 2021, which we do the winter clothes, the blankets for
Yeah.
the kids. We do school before school. So there's so many things to do, but this it just pushed it to the surface for us. We have 2 tons of relief on its way to the villages. When I say the
Okay.
villages, it's Tliwat. It's in the outskirts of Warzazat, which is kind of forgotten area, if you would. So just think of it. In 3 or 4 days since the earthquake, 2 tons. We have secured two 18-wheelers. The caravan is supposed to be leaving either today or tomorrow, headed to the villages. So it's in terms of results, none of us expected this
Hmm.
at this level. I mean, 2 tons, and it's us. There's
Yeah.
when the international help comes, oh, it's going to be outstanding. When the government helps, it's
Yeah.
going to be incredible. But
But this is
us,
the immediate relief that
this
people
is the
need.
immediate relief. This is
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 tons of clothes, baby clothes,
Blankets.
medication, water, food.
Right. So how far will that
Yeah.
go, and how much more will you need?
Oh, it's going to go far. It's
Mhm.
gonna go very far. But here's the thing: people are still giving, and we're talking just regular people like me. Even people that are hurt are still giving. People
Yeah.
that have nowhere to stay are still giving.
Yeah.
Because they see that other people needs the money, needs whatever they need more than they do.
Yeah.
And again, this goes back to we cannot say no. It's our culture. It's all about the culture.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Excuse me. That's the Berber culture.
yeah,
Go
even
ahead,
some
Sam.
people they don't have
Please.
money. They don't have what to participate with. They just help with their hands, just moving goods from this place to this place, or just starting the trucks, or Yeah, this is how the culture, as Dean said. You don't have, for example, what to money or something. You just help with your hand. You
Sure.
use your body to help.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
kind of help as well.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So if people want to donate who aren't there in person to use their hands, which would be great, but if all of us who are abroad, if we want to donate, so the money you send, you guys have a special account for this, and then you make sure that it goes to buy the things that you need, and including gas, I'm sure, and things for the trucks, right, to make sure the
Yes.
stuff
Yeah.
gets there. And talk a bit about safety and security, because we want to make sure that this is
Oh,
going to be safely delivered
yes.
to the
Yes.
right people.
Yes. It's a really important. I want to go back to what Sam has said before. We deliver the goods in the hands of people that need it, because there has been cases, recorded cases, that people are looting, are stealing. You'll send a truck, there's just the driver and the truck, and people will stop and steal all those goods from that truck driver. Unfortunately, those things happen. Then you see the politicians that are really corrupt. When they receive the help that is supposed to go to their village, they just stock it in one of their rooms or one of their houses,
Hmm.
and that's it. But there have been some arrests in few of these cases. So what we're doing, we're not going to send 2 tons of relief with two drivers. It's just there's about at least 20, 30 people with those trucks. because like Sam said, it has to be divided. It has to be uh, sent specifically to certain houses. What this house need may not be the same as this house needs.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
see,
that's
this
right.
house has 6 kids, but this house doesn't have any kids. So
Yeah.
it's dispersed accordingly to the need of those families. It's
Mm.
very, very important. When we deliver a truck, there are people, our people in that truck. So they're not afraid that somebody's gonna rob them, somebody's gonna stop them. No, that's not our way. Especially in those areas where in the mountains where we are from.
Yeah.
That's not us. So
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So you kind of avoid the intermediaries in a sense. The stuff comes off the
always.
truck and directly to the people who need it.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and also I want Sam, if you would please explain to the audience, because we were talking. Every village is different. The access to the villages are very different. Some, in our cases, um, some of them are right there. You have access to the road, and sometimes it's paved, sometimes it's not paved. But in some areas, it's the village is far, far, far away from the pavement or where the truck has to make that stop. Sam, can you share with us, with the listeners and the viewers, please, the story that you were telling us about when the load gets to
Yes.
the village,
Yeah.
what happens next,
Yeah.
please?
Most of the people right now they go to the accessible villages. Some of the villages they are really in need, they are not accessible. For example, we take for example an SUV. We go to the off road until the end of the road, and we have to take mules and bags on our backs, and we have to walk like for 4 or 5 hours to reach to other villages. There is some people there they need more than anybody else.
Yeah,
So this is what we will do in the next few days. We will go to that places, and we will reach out to that to those people, because right now nobody reached them. So
yeah,
we will go
Yeah.
there, and we will check out of after those people, and we give them what they need. We will take on our backs, as I said, and the mules, because there is no roads, nothing, because
Hmm.
there is only mountains, and we have to climb the mountains and go down to the other villages to help people there.
Wow.
okay, yeah, yeah. Ted, I just looked at the chat and I see some questions. I see Lynn, Kirk, Hasna. They have some questions. I just want to make sure that we read them, please.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've covered most of them. I mean, Kirk had a good one.
Okay,
It ties in well. Coming back to people are especially there, on the ground. If travelers, like, how can we as tourists be most respectful in this time? Sam, you're on
uh,
the ground, but just
uh,
how can people, show respect?
Okay,
We want to help, but we don't want to
very good.
be taking pictures and stuff.
Very good question.
yeah,
Because most of the people right now in the outside, some of them they just stay outside and they don't have tents. Just say, please don't picture them. Don't take photos for them, because what they going through is enough. So please, just if you can help. If you can
Yeah.
just help, just say hello.
Hmm.
That's it, and go
yeah,
your way. Don't take photos for them. Just don't bother them. What they going through is enough for them. That's
yeah.
what I want to
Yeah.
go. And please respect people. They need respect.
The other thing that I would add, Sam, really good point. Kirk, amazing question. Thank you for that. Just smile. You know,
Hmm.
Yes,
in our culture we say smile is a charity. When you smile, it's it's really really amazing what it does. Smile is contagious. It doesn't matter how hurt they are, they'll smile back at you. It's just
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
incredible question. Thank you for that, Kirk.
thank you
Thank
very
you.
Yeah.
much for the question.
Is it so? Maybe related. If you are there on the ground as a tourist, is it safe to go out to the mountains then, to some of these villages yourself? Maybe even with Sam and part of the team of volunteers, like you guys are talking about, carting in things on your back and so on to these
Yeah.
villages. Is it possible someone can help with that?
Yeah, definitely. But the thing is, I don't recommend anybody going on their own.
Yeah.
Yes,
When we talk about village, we're talking about, I don't even know count of how many villages have been affected. Probably over 100, for
yeah,
sure, over 100, 200 probably. But you want to help, just go with the local, help with the local, be involved with the local.
yes,
Hmm.
And like Sam said, the in our culture, the
yeah,
presence of a tourist or somebody foreigner being there is priceless.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't have to donate, but just you being there, it's 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 worth its weight in gold. Just you being there, it means so much to the community. It means so much to the people. You know,
Yeah, to
yeah,
add what to what Asdin said, if you go alone, you will meet some people. Maybe, for example, the nearest villages which are not affected, which they don't need. For example, they will stop you,
yeah,
what you bring, and they will take it. They don't
yeah,
need it.
yeah,
So if you go with someone with locals, you will reach the right people to give them
yes,
the
yes.
right help to the right people. Yeah.
That's good to know. Um,
Okay.
I'm curious about this time of year. It's mid-September. Sam, can you give us a sense of the temperature right now, the climate, and the nights, and what kind of weather are people dealing with, especially in the weeks to come?
The weather right now is good. Uh, Not warm and not hot. I want to say not. It's warm. No, sometimes in the night in the mountains, it's a little bit cold during the nights, but during the
Mm,
day is amazing. Yeah, just like springtime, the weather is
yeah,
just amazing. It's the best time to come to Morocco, by the way.
yeah.
I want to add something to what Sammy said, and it's a really good question, by the way. The weather patterns change. So the weather in Marrakech is different than the mountains. The mountains, this is where
Mm,
it's the fall. Sometimes you'll see snow by October, which is upon us. And that's why it's really urgent, and we're very grateful. The air handled blankets came in at the right moment. It's just unbelievable.
mm,
So, and again, we talked about it last time. If we don't get the help that they need, even though there's no casualties in most of these areas, there will be casualties in November. There will be casualties in December. There will be casualties in January and February.
yeah.
So, unfortunately, this is a good time to make the move.
Because
Sorry.
these villages, especially, they're going to need shelter. I mean, right away.
Oh,
But
for sure.
certainly, as
Yes.
the nights get colder and the snow, and like that's got to be a top priority at
It
this
is.
point.
It
Yeah.
is. It
So as I
is.
mentioned before, if someone, for example, want to bring something in the future, tents is a priority.
Yeah.
Mm,
Blankets is priority. Clothes is priority.
Yes.
Yeah.
hmm
Thank you.
Do you have a sense? It's early, of course. Do you have a sense yet of how long recovery might take? I mean, you can kind of separate Marrakech as the big city and the
For
tourist
sure.
areas and the villages, but how long is it going to take for Morocco to recover from this?
That's a really good question, Ted. I mean, especially when we talk about the attractions, especially when we talk about the World Heritage sites that have been damaged. Then Marrakesh, I would say, it will recover the fastest
Mm,
because it's a major city. For some villages, it's definitely gonna take a long time because some villages some people
Done.
they're gone.
Yeah.
The complete village is gone. You have one person survive, the whole village is gone. What are
mhm,
they going to do? Where are they going to live? It's just so many questions. But in terms of recovery, um, I can speak for my village probably within 1 year.
mm,
Mm.
Within 1 year, and 1 year, it's extremely aggressive. And the reason why I say that it's because I feel confident because of the team behind us. We will rebuild within 1 year,
Yeah.
definitely
yeah.
1 year.
Yeah.
It's tough, it's challenging, but I want to give people the reason why I said 1 year. Houses in the mountains are different than the cities, different than what the West and how the West builds it. In
Yeah.
the mountains, you want to build a house, you have access to clay, it's everywhere.
Hmm,
Then you have access to rocks, which are free, and that's how they build. Then they use hay for some parts or most parts with the clay as well to hold it together. So all the resources, 80% of them are local and available. Then you have the labor. In these cases, the labor is free. Everybody helps everybody. They just volunteer. So you're gonna need a little bit, maybe cement, maybe some iron and stuff like that. But those, again, with the help, we don't pay retail price. We pay
hmm,
a wholesale. And sometimes there's a lot of things we get from the government for free, from
mhm,
associations for free. So, and that's what's going to help us tremendously recover quick.
yeah.
So that's why it's for me. I'm very fortunate, and I cannot emphasize enough on the team. When I say me, it's the team behind me, and uh, I have a team of ninjas. I feel extremely lucky. Sam, Hasna, Abdel, Ftah. I mean, the guys are just really they're ninjas at what they do. Then we have the other associations, from Clewet, from two villages that we're supporting. Then Casablanca. Then it's the network. It's just beyond incredible. We will rebuild, and we will probably be rebuild the quickest.
Okay.
So this is my personal opinion, but I want to also hear what Sam has to say, please.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. For the villages, they really need time to recover. For the big cities like Marrakech, for when we talk about Marrakech, it will be restored as soon as possible, very fast. Especially these not big like historical monuments that is affected. For example, three monuments. They could restore them maybe in 3 months, 4 months, for example, and they will be good. Yeah, because there is like a special units that is dedicated to this historical World Heritage, UNESCO World Heritage sites, and they will take care of them very quickly. For the villages, as Dean said, unfortunately, maybe a year. Some of them in the high Atlas Mountains, which is very difficult to transport, as Dean said, the materials to build the new houses as well. It's very difficult. It will take a long time, maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. As well, there is some of them that doesn't exist anymore. All of them that destroyed. I see there. So it's yeah, yeah. That's it. Yeah.
I'm going to try this here. We've been talking about all these areas, and to give people a sense of where they are, I'm going to share my screen. Can you see the map here? Is it working?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it. Yes.
Okay, we didn't test this beforehand, but this just occurred to me. So, because people might be familiar with some of this, especially been watching the news. I mean, here's Marrakech, of course. This was the epicenter of the earthquake. Was the kind of southwest. A lot of the villages that have really been damaged. Now, whereas Dean's family, I know you guys and Sam, I'm not sure exactly, but
Tillouet.
the villages around
That's
here,
it.
Tillouet.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the point is that you can see, I mean, it's not right next to the epicenter. It's kind of due east and, I don't know, maybe 60 miles in a straight line. But so fortunately, it sounds like not quite the number of casualties, but a lot of damage, still.
Yes.
So that's why you guys, besides having the connections there, of course, you've been putting the emphasis on this, because as much as the people over here in the epicenter need a lot of help immediately, we can't forget about the other villages around here too, around Tillouet. So this is where you're focusing your efforts. The trucks had to come up through the mountains here. And, wow.
Yes, that's right. That's right. So there's Tillouet, and within Tillouet, there are other villages. Ait Ben Haddou is probably the most famous one, but it's not severely damaged. That's according to Sam just a couple hours ago. And also, this is something that I want to talk about, but it's significantly important. Thank God for technology. And the reason why I'm saying this, because at some point, maybe 6-7 years ago, when you pull up this map, we're not going to see none of these villages that you're mentioning. They did not exist in the map. So just let that sink in for a second.
Interesting.
Those villages did not exist. Us, as people, as culture, we did not exist in the outside world. You can see Marrakech on the map. You can see, Ouarzazate. You can see the major cities. But the villages, we did not exist. So this is significantly important, so people can see exactly where the help is going, exactly the villages, and you can see them. It's just it's unbelievable. So seeing is believing. So for people to say, I helped a village in Clewet, and it's Ozlem, it's Afdrek, it's Talatan, it's whatever. They know they can see it on the map. And thank God for technology. And again, I cannot emphasize the importance of this. A few years ago, there's nothing to show on TV. You can see it, but you don't know what it is. You have no idea what those villages are. So luckily and fortunately now you can see exactly what those areas that are hit. It's pretty big area, but as you can see, Tluwat is very far from where the earthquake hit. It's pretty far from Marrakech, but they're not going to get the help that they need right away. So that's left up to us, the locals, people who have connections, who have families in those villages, and that's exactly what we're doing. So when I say us, the team is over 100 people. Then Sam is getting involved with other people. Hasna is doing the same thing. Everybody else is doing other stuff on their own, helping different communities. So it's just beyond incredible, the help, the support, the love that we have received from everybody. It's just, we
Yeah.
feel very fortunate, and we're extremely appreciative of all of it.
Hmm. And I'm appreciative of having this platform, having the podcast where we
Thank
can get
you.
the message out there, be
Ah,
able to reach
oh,
people.
oh,
Sure.
absolutely,
I'm glad we started
absolutely.
it.
Thank you. It's, I, I will never let an opportunity go by when it's about you, Ted. For the last 2 days, since the earthquake hit, I can't thank you enough. I mean, you probably will get tired of me saying this. There's no podcast without you. There's
Yes,
no Destination Morocco podcast without you, Ted.
absolutely.
Hands down.
You are the one.
Well,
So
thanks.
You
It's a
are the
great
best.
project. I'm happy to be a part of it.
thank you.
Well, I want to share this. We've come up with a donate page. There's a donate button. I'm putting in the chat. We'll be sending it out in emails and, an episode show notes and social media and all these things. There's a page here that where people can refer to what you guys are doing, and there's a donate button there too.
Okay. Sharon just said thank you. You're incredible. We love
Sure.
you. I love your messages. I
Thank you
love your
very much.
texts. We can't wait for you to go to Morocco. We can't wait to have dinner with you. We cannot wait to share our country, our culture with you, Sharon. It's really overwhelming.
Thank you very
It's
much.
amazing. And I get a lot of texts and I get a lot of questions. I know Karen, Heidi, Lauren, Lori are about to go to Morocco right now. And me and Karen have been in constant contact on a daily basis almost. From the airline, any changes to her flights, to the accommodations, to the activities. And she's been amazing, asking a lot of really, really, really important questions. And I'm going to share some with you, if it's okay, please, Ted. She
Yes.
said that, I want to help. Let me know how. Is there anything that I can take, to Morocco with me? That Moroccan people like, and said, take the whole United States. No, I'm just joking. But the thing is, um, there's a lot of people they want to help, but they don't know us. They don't know whether we are a scam. We're just doing this to collect money for ourselves. And I said, no, this is not a scam. It took me a lot of courage to be involved and get involved, because I know what can go wrong, and I know the effect of it, and I know what it could do to us, to our company as a reputation, and many, many other things.
Mm.
But we are involved because we care. We are involved because we love people. We love our culture. We love Morocco. We love each other. It's
Yeah.
That's the reason why we're doing this. I am involved with other international, associations, the relief
Mm.
and stuff. Yeah, the help will get there, but the help we're doing is individual by individual by individual, and most of
Yeah.
them, small charities, nonprofits. Some may not have even a website. They'll have a Facebook page, but it's going to be in Arabic. It's not in English.
Mm.
So if you want to help us, but you don't trust us, it's perfectly fine. You can donate to other entities. There's so many. And the movement that I have seen is people taking it upon themselves, especially us living abroad. I've seen just individuals doing amazing things,
Mm-hmm.
collecting donations. And those donations, they will go to the right people. And
That's
that's
right.
exactly what we're doing.
Yeah.
So what we need help with today, right now, is the donation. If it's a $5, it'll go a long way. If it's a
Yeah.
$20, it'll go a long way. If it's $1,000, it'll go a long way. So the way we're calculated, personally, I'm supporting families. Two villages. When I say me, it's Destination Morocco. It's our staff.
Mm-hmm.
It's the team. We are supporting 40, 40 in each village. So that's 80 families, and that's
Mm.
it's tough,
Huge. Yeah.
but it is huge.
Yeah.
But we'll get it done.
Yeah.
I have no doubt we'll get it done,
I
and
know
I
you
feel
will.
very confident we'll get
Yeah.
it done,
Yeah.
because I honestly did not expect the support that we have received in the last few days. It's just people ask me, I want to donate, I want to help. What can I say? Just give me a couple of days. Let me figure this out. I'm gonna have a link.
Mm.
I'm gonna have a donating, link with a Stripe, and it'll go to Destination Morocco account, but that account will be transferred to Morocco,
Yeah.
basically. So that's how we do it. If you go into Morocco, you don't feel comfortable donating with us, just donate when you're in Morocco.
Yes.
Just like Sam said, just with your labor, with your help, just talking to people. That conversation can go a long way. That strength, that
Yeah,
support, that physical support, the mental support. Everybody needs it,
that's
especially
really
kids.
important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially the kids. So it's we're going through a lot, but we'll get through it. It's
Hmm.
we
By
win
the
as a
way,
team, we
yeah.
lose as a team.
And by
So
the way, they will not ask for help. Even if you find like people staying in under the tents in the street, they
yeah,
will never ask you for help, especially for
Hmm.
money.
yeah,
No, never.
Hmm.
Yeah, as a tourist, just smile, as Astin said, say
yeah,
hello.
yeah,
You want to
yeah,
help? You can go to supermarket yourself, buy them water, buy them
yeah,
anything they need,
yeah.
diapers for babies, anything, and you are good. Yeah,
Yeah,
The biggest help that you can do is you being there,
yeah,
really,
that's it. Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
that's
see
true.
you physically. There's like you're very special. You have not abandoned us. You're here for us. You're supporting us. They know you're supporting in so many different ways. Not the financial part, just you're there physically.
yeah,
Yeah,
Physically, you're there because you care. So,
that's
yeah,
yeah,
that's a good point. That's a good point to wrap up on, even because we started off here an hour or so ago talking about can people even are still people still going to Morocco, and it's pretty clear that they are. They're still there. They're still going, and it's arguably the most important thing you can do if you have the chance is to be there with your presence and your energy. And all the smaller little things, on a day to day basis as you're walking through town, just to acknowledge people and make sure that
yeah,
you recognize them and
yes,
you're there for them. So the only way we
yeah,
can do that, for foreigners is to go as tourists. So anyone watching who has that opportunity, go for it. And hey, if you want to tell us about it afterwards, we
yeah.
love talking to
Oh,
people on the podcast who've been to Morocco, of course, and been on your tours. So keep that in mind too. We'd love to hear your
absolutely.
story.
sure,
Absolutely. Deb,
absolutely.
before I do
Yeah.
forget, and I do apologize, Jeff asked me any updates, and I completely forgot. So, in terms of Jeff is going with us, let me look at. He's going with us. I would say, yeah, next week in 6 days.
Yeah,
Good.
There's no change to your itinerary,
yeah,
Jeff, and I will also reach
yeah,
out to you personally, text or email. There's no change to your itinerary. Your itinerary is still the same.
yes,
Jeff is going he's staying in Morocco for about a month, almost for about a month.
Mm.
Yeah. So there's no changes to your itinerary. Everything is good in terms of the accommodations where you're staying in all the cities. There's no change at all. So
yeah,
the itinerary is still good and still valid. But
Yep.
yeah,
yeah.
thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Cool. Sam, do you have any last thoughts before we wrap up?
Okay. I
Uh,
see. I apologize. I see Kirk has. Oh, thank you so much, Kirk. Really appreciate it. Just read your message.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate you. If you go to Morocco, Kirk, and you need help, please let us know. Please reach out to us. If you're going to be in Marrakech at some point, we would love to invite you for dinner. You'll get to meet Sam. Um, you know, uh, this is the least that we can do for you. Please, we would love if you go into Morocco. We would love to see you if that's an opportunity. Please,
absolutely.
Great.
thank you,
What
thank
I
you.
can add personally is that I'm telling people just everything is fine. Come to discover Morocco. Come to enjoy the country. Come to meet the people. Don't
Okay,
cancel your trip. I'm most welcome. Everything is fine. Everything is good, and we'll be more than happy to welcome you and to show you our culture, hospitality, the traditions, the heritage of the country. The country is amazing, and there is so much things to see and
Hmm.
to do and to discover.
okay,
Yep.
thank you. I want to add something. Kirk is going to Morocco next week, so I shared my cell phone with him on the chat. You could reach out to me on WhatsApp, and I'll share with you Sam's cell phone. That way we stay connected. That way we can at least meet face to face. That'll be outstanding if we can get that. Please, Kirk.
Sure.
So yeah, you can text me. You can call me anytime, and I'll share Sam's information with you. So for anybody who's listening um, to this or listening to it afterwards after the recording, and you're going to Morocco next week, next month, or for the rest of 2023, and Marrakesh is part of your your passage or your itinerary, we would love to meet you. You don't have to be traveling with us. We would love to have a cup of coffee with you, cup of tea with you, maybe lunch, maybe dinner on us, please. We're very grateful, trust me. But ultimately, our goal is for you to go to Morocco. So
Absolutely.
if you're passing by Marrakesh or Marrakesh, you're going to be there for a day or two, we would love to meet you, please. That's, yeah. So thank you. There's a few more questions in the chat. There's Reina.
I know. Yeah.
I know she asked. I think she went to Marrakesh in January, but I
January.
think
Yeah.
she's going back. But she's going through Tangier this time. But also Jewel asked. He has some recommendations. If we can refer back to those two questions, please. I don't want to. Thank you, Reina. She just confirmed it. Yes. Let me see. What are some recommendations for Tangier, particularly if I'm
Oh, okay.
arriving early January by the boat from Spain? So this is
Sure.
Reina's question. Then I have Jules' question afterwards, please.
Okay. Sure. Sure. So for Tangier, there is so many things to do, but what I recommend to do in Tangier is to visit the Cap Spartel, which is the meeting of the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Ocean. It's amazing there. There is so many amazing views where you can see, for example, when it's clear, you can see Spain and Gibraltar from the other side of Morocco. There is the Hercules Caves. The Hercules Caves, which is like, it's a mythic, I don't know, something dated back to the 100 centuries ago. And it's something which you have to visit. So there is the old Medina of Tangier, which is dated back to 3,000 years ago. And there is the American legation, the first building established outside the United States. And there is an amazing museum there where you can visit and see. As well, you can have like enjoy a meal by the Cornish. They have a very, very clean and nice Cornish in Tangier, and overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, see the ships coming from Spain and from Europe. It's amazing.
And also
Yeah.
just want to add to the American legation. It's the only building that it's a U.S. property outside the United States, and it was gifted to United States by the Sultan at some time ago. And also, Morocco was the first country to recognize United States of America as independent country back in 1776, I believe. Yeah. So we have a long-standing relationship, good relationship with
Yes.
the U.S. So
Yeah.
very grateful. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure.
The next question that I have from Jewel, do you have it, Ted, by chance?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
He says he'll be in Marrakech for 5 days. I'm not
Okay.
sure when, but the option of staying in a riad in the Medina or in a hotel in the new city. I will have stayed in riads in other cities visited. Which would you recommend, or maybe both?
That's a really
Okay.
good question. It's
Yeah.
it's really obvious, but Sam can answer this,
Yeah,
please.
sure. You can stay in both of them. You can have, as I said in the beginning of this Q&A, live the Medina, most of the riads, 98% are still accessible and still working. But for example, if you don't want to stay in the riads of the Medina, for example, there is so many luxury 5 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, even 2 stars hotels outside the old Medina, outside the walls, in Gilis, in Hivernage, in like Road to Urica, Road to Ouarzazate, Road to Fes. There is so many hotels and accommodation where you can stay. You can rent villa, you can rent an apartment. Everything is available in Marrakesh right now.
I guess it comes down to
Thank
your
you.
style. Then, if you want to stay in the riad, which is very intimate and cozy, you're often the family lives there too, or it's certainly their old family home, right? So there's that style. Then the hotels are the more modern thing for
Yeah.
sure, and different kinds of amenities. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and I guess if you have the time, you could try both.
Yes.
yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
Excellent.
Well, these last couple of questions, I guess, are a good taste of further things we'll talk about in other sessions like this.
Yes.
Getting into
Yes.
some of the
Yeah.
details, things to see
Yeah.
and do, and options and trip planning. So that's a good teaser for next time. But
Yes.
it's great to know that people are listening. And my last point here is about our monthly Q&A sessions. So this was always going to be the first of recurring ones, and it's the second Wednesday, I think. Did we decide?
Yeah, second Wednesday of every month. Yes.
Second Wednesday of every month, we'll be doing the same thing, different topics, and we'll see where things are at, of course, next month, and what we'll have updates for you. But yeah, so we'll be back and get more into interaction with our listeners. I think we'll wrap up just to say I'm glad that Sam, you're doing okay, and your family, the office seems okay, and that things are happening to recover here and do what needs to be done to get everyone back on their feet. So
absolutely, thank you.
Thanks very much for all the information.
Yeah, and thank you very
so
much, Ted.
Sam.
You are amazing. Most welcome. Absolutely.
Cheers.
Thank you very much for all of you. Thank you very much, Astin. Thank you very much, Ted.
Of course.
You are amazing.
So
thanks very much, everybody, for attending today too.
Yeah, thank you. Also, just before we go, we're gonna have more updates about the earthquake, about the help we're getting, and we are open book. If anybody wants to see the donations, they can. All you have to do is ask. We have, the trucks on the way to the villages, and I didn't answer the question earlier. So it does not end here. There's going to be more trucks next week, and the week after that, and the week after that. So this is going to be continuous for us, being involved until it ends, until there's no more trucks to go, until we're done. But our work will not stop. Our work will continue behind the scene. We're getting a lot of questions, and hopefully in the next couple of episodes, this is what we're going to be focusing on. And also, thank you for mentioning it. We're going to be doing the Q&A live every second Wednesday of every month. And we hope to see you there. And like Ted said, if you're traveling to Morocco, between now and then, if you want to share your experience, you're more than welcome to reach out to us. We'll have you as a guest. You can have your own episode, or you can be in the panel answering questions as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. See you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.